So I'm getting ready to do a customer quilt, and this is one of Margaret's 3-yard quilts, and it's a Christmas quilt. So I'm actually going to do the same Seafoam design that I used on my last quilt, because I think it'll kind of look wintry and I think it'll look good. So let me show you the thread I'm going to use. So here's the quilt, and I have 2 kinds of thread that I'm thinking about using. This is a Central Pro green tea, and I've had this for a very long time. And I was thinking about using that, but then I had this King Tut that was like a sample cone, and I think this one would look good too. I might use the King Tut because I think I just have enough that I can use this. I might have to use a different type of bobbin thread though, because I'm not sure if I have enough for both. So I bought a new bobbin winder, and this one is the Gammill's newer bobbin winder. I have the old one. I haven't used it, so I am going to try to figure it out here. I did print myself the instructions, and so let's see what it says. Pretty straightforward. Just goes through this little guy. And then through your bobbin. All right, wish me luck. It's very quiet compared to the other one. And it's actually doing a really nice job of winding the thread, which my other one I had to kind of babysit it. So that is definitely a nicer wound bobbin than my last one. And we'll see how it stitches out. So one of the things I learned in my Quilting with Confidence class, like say you have this much of a bobbin left, you don't want to put it in the toa gauge and try to get the tension set, because they said that you only want to test the tension on a full bobbin, not a half bobbin, not like 3/4 of a bobbin or a 1/4 of a bobbin. I think that's all this is. They said because it's going to get tighter and tighter as it unwinds, and your tension will change as you're stitching, which I thought was interesting. All right, I have the top basted down on this quilt, and I can kind of see that I might have a little bit of an issue on the sides, especially the right side. It's probably going to kind of wave on me a little bit, so I'm going to have to adjust the fullness when I get down a little bit. I mean, you can see it right here, so just have to work with that as I'm going and try to get it as straight as possible. I'm using a repeat pattern on this, and I've got it kind of set up. I just need to move the whole thing so it goes over the border. You can see I have some fullness going on this side border, which I thought I would. And when you have this going on, you need to start from the bottom and go up instead of doing it the other way. And then I'm just going to push, see if I can get this where you can actually see it. I'm just going to push my finger down on this side as I'm stitching up, and it'll start taking the fullness out. And there we go. So that's kind of how you do the sides if you have a problem with fullness. And obviously this wasn't huge, so it was easy to take care of, but if you have a lot of fullness, then it makes it a little bit harder. Here's how the quilt is looking. You can see the back, it looks really pretty. And I think the green looks pretty good. I keep thinking all of these little white swirls are thread, and I keep wanting to pick them off the quilt. So it's kind of messing with me a little bit, but I think it's looking pretty good. I only have a few more rows to do, and I'm about an hour into it. I'm on the last couple of rows. I just got a little bit of this last row and this one to do, and I'll be done. So here's what it's looking like. Didn't have too much of a problem. You can tell there's a little bit of fullness right here, but I had that almost all the way up and down the quilt. It's not going to make much difference. Once it's quilted, it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the quilt. All right, here is the finished quilt, and I think it turned out really pretty. The fabric is still kind of messing with me. I keep thinking there's there's thread on it, and I keep rolling the lint brush or the lint roller, but I think it turned out pretty good. So here's what the back looks like. It's a pretty pattern. You just have to be careful not to overlap. There's circles, so because it's pretty tight, and I think if you nest it right, you can get it to work.